Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. Your KMA crew, the Italian Scallion, Paul DeGracco, Alex Tavella, a.k.a. The Goat, and always telling it like it is, Honest Abe.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. Honest Abe here with my trusted gang. We are broadcasting live from sunny South Florida. As always, the producer who does something, the Italian scallion, Paul DeGracco,
Hey.
and the man they know as the GOAT, Alex Tabella.
There he is.
Good morning.
I'm officially back in South Florida, too.
I thought your flight was on a day you had to miss a show.
Last Saturday.
Oh, is he not? I forgot. He didn't even realize. Now what? Okay. Speechless.
You didn't miss me?
Not at all.
I'm going to be a little bit more professional and button my...
I'm just curious, in the host banter, we were talking about the Altus giveaway. Is this when we're giving it away? Because I don't see it anywhere on the docket as to when we're doing the drawing.
Yeah, we're giving it away.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
And during the banter. Okay, no worries.
Right now. Soon.
Right now, anyways. Well, anyways, we have a nice prize that Altus USA, one of our awesome sponsors, puts up every quarter. All you had to do is just sign up to win it. And the new prize for the next quarter will be up next week. But do we have a photo of what that prize was? It was a nice little H. Upman package. There it is. Look at that. We're going to give that away now to one of our lucky loyal listeners.
Oh, I like those lighters.
You going to give it away right now?
Yeah, it's in the banter.
Let's give it away.
Let's start out with giving away something cool.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Alex. You take control.
Yeah. Let's take it to the world famous.
Alex, you
the
take
wheel.
Control.
Well, he has the wheel.
The world famous wheel of names. Are we ready? Was we up? Everybody can see the wheel?
Yep.
The lovely rainbow reel. It's beautiful.
I don't think I remember seeing a wheel in a long time where I can actually read anybody's name.
Read some names? Right.
Yeah.
Only 800 names crammed into a wheel.
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Good luck, everybody.
If it's Quentin.
It's Albert.
Oh, Albert. Congratulations, Albert.
Congratulations,
You got that awesome
Albert.
prize from the fine folks at Altus USA. We'll get that out to you next week. And look for our new prize up next week that you could win some cool stuff because we like to give away stuff that we do. So how was your trip home? Because from the chaos I was hearing all in the background, I swore you were still away.
No, we came home, and now my father-in-law and his wife are here visiting. So we came.
The people you just left.
No. They live in South Carolina now.
Oh.
So they came. They haven't seen our new house yet, so they wanted to come, and this was when they could come. So they it's good though. You know, they've been taking the kids out fishing and to the pool, and they're going to be heading over there in a little bit actually.
So you've got a little bit of a break.
Sure, if you could call it that. I mean, I've been working the whole time, but
I've never met a man who works as much as Paul. Never.
Well, I work from home.
I don't care where you work from. Just KMA.
So yes, we're back. It's a full house, and it's awesome. That's what we like. We like having people. It's boring if there's not anybody here. In all honesty, I don't know what I'm gonna do when my kids move. When my kids move out, it's gonna be so quiet.
You'll be ready by that time. Trust me.
You getting there?
Tell you what, it was a very interesting summer. That was the most time I was exposed to all my kids all day, every day since they were probably born. I was telling people I was too tired to really go to Vegas, but I think I just really went so I could fall in love with my kids again.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, I needed about 4 days away from them. Remember what it was like to miss them.
Your house is always full, though. I don't think I've ever gone in your house when there aren't other people there as well as your family. Like every time I've walked into your house, there's always somebody else in that house.
That's a very observant observation. Observant? No, that's a very good observation for somebody who's been over like 3 times since I've met you.
Maybe 4. But 4 random times I came over, there were other people there. I was like,
my wife's family all lives here. She's got 5 siblings. Somebody's always over at the house.
I mean, it's great. Listen, I like company, believe it or not. Just not strangers. I don't like when strangers are in my house.
I don't like company.
Gee, that doesn't surprise me.
I'm the same way, man. When I go home, I just want to chill in peace.
So you just deal with it?
You know what? At this point, it's part of the fixtures. You know, that's the norm now. You know,
you walk in the house and then just when there's people there, just walk outside and smoke a cigar. Like,
I say hi, but I'm not an animal.
What kind of company? I feel like when I would go to Abe's house, yeah, Abe could sit outside. I said, doesn't matter.
Well, no,
it's
yeah,
company,
but
when it's company that you're like, okay, whatever, they're here. When
Right,
it's company got to entertain. It's like, ugh.
Right. It's less company and more like, they live there,
yeah, but like when your brother-in-law's there, it's not company. He's just there,
We're
he's a
hanging,
visit, yeah.
But wait till your kids get older and the kids
All the
start bringing
friends
friends
Shit,
over.
right,
And you got 4 or 5 kids you don't know running around your house.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that part.
At least with boys, they really don't do that much. They'd almost just rather go play outside. But the girls, they always got somebody over doing stuff or wanting to go somewhere. This was the summer of my oldest. We went away for the summer, but since she's been back, she's already went to her friend's house 4 times.
Do they do sleepovers at this age or not?
I don't
yet?
do sleepovers.
But is she allowed to stay over somebody else's house?
What did I just say?
Oh, so you don't do it? I thought you meant at your house you don't do sleepovers.
No, I don't want kids. I think one of my middle daughter's friends did a PowerPoint presentation on why she should be allowed to sleep over, and I was really so impressed. I'm like, all right, no problem. But I don't want kids sleeping over in my house. I don't want my kids sleeping over. There's no reason to sleep over.
Especially if they live down the block,
I don't care where they live. There's no reason to sleep over. You're there. You're gonna go to bed in your own bed. I just don't believe nothing good comes out of a sleepover. I'm not comfortable with it. I've never slept over at a friend's house growing up. Unfortunately, my kids get the brunt of that cultural raising I've had, but we're just not into sleepovers.
I have, but I didn't like it as a kid. I was in the same idea. I was like, why do I want to sleep up? My parents live 2 blocks that way. I'm going to go to their house. I could go home late. Who cares?
Yeah. Why do I want to be in a strange bed in another house with some parents I barely know that well? It's just.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever did child sleepover. When I was a teenager, maybe a late teenager and drunk or on acid.
That's not sleeping over, bro. That's passing out at the party.
Yeah, right.
So that's
not. Let's have a sleepover.
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, I passed out in probably many strange places in college, but that's not a sleepover.
But I always pulled the wake up at 3 a.m. and get the hell out of there. I never wanted to I never wanted to wake up in the morning somewhere different. Even in the dating world, I always escaped.
Out.
Exactly. Who's waking up at 3 a.m.?
I do because I'm not in my own bed. Whenever I fall asleep on the couch here, I wake up in a panic at 3 a.m. that I'm not in my own bed. I'm like, and I turn off everything and go to bed.
Evan Darnell was always the different perspective from everybody.
I slept over in a lot of new snacks.
Where is his other? That's his perspective. New snacks.
Yeah, sleeping over at someone's house. He has access to food he doesn't have at his house.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah. I did have friends. So I had a friend whose mom regularly made hamburger helper. And when I was a kid, my mom cooked everything. She never made any of that kind of stuff. And Kraft mac and cheese. My mom always made her mac and cheese. And I remember I used to like to go there because I'd have second dinner at his house because she'd have leftover Kraft mac and cheese or hamburger helper when I was a kid. And I liked that. I didn't get any of that stuff at home.
It's weird how kids get attracted to stuff like that they don't have. I knew a kid whose mom would never, ever let him have bologna.
Really?
Yes. And when we'd go to a friend's house, we're like, if you gave him bologna, it's like he found gold. It was so weird. I'm like, you're eating that shit? You're all excited about bologna?
I loved it as a kid.
Didn't even fry it. Ugh.
I loved it as a kid. Just bologna rolled up. We used to call them bologna cigars. You roll them up and you put a little bit of mustard in there. Oh, man. But my kids have never eaten bologna. They won't touch it. We've had it before.
I've never bought it home. I
don't know if I've had bologna if I've ever purchased bologna.
No, me neither. But my parents always have a million different cold cuts in their house. You go to my parents' house, it's like Tony Soprano's refrigerator. There's 16 different kinds of cold cuts.
I don't think Tony Soprano had bologna.
I don't think Tony had bologna.
There's gabagool. There's gabagool too.
Gabagool and smoked turkey.
Yeah, I don't think
smoked turkey, Italian roast beef that everybody loves. That I'm like, it's just like regular roast beef with way too much seasoning on it.
I've never. Roast beef as a food has never appealed to me. Is it just me?
I like the plain cold cut roast beef. I'll eat that.
A roast beef sandwich?
Yeah.
It never appealed to you?
No, I don't know why.
What do you mean?
I never liked the roast beef sandwich.
I don't understand. Like an Italian beef?
Okay, so an Italian beef, yeah, I like Italian beefs because it's.
What do you mean, like roast beef
I'm
lunch,
talking
like
about
roast beef
the roast
with
beef,
like
like you go to
mayonnaise on a fucking
yeah, like people like love roast beef sandwiches. It just never appealed.
Oh man, I love like boar's head roast beef with lettuce, tomato, and a little bit of mayo on like a good
Yeah.
Italian hero. Oh,
roast beef has to be, dripping in gravy,
Gravy
with
or
a big
something.
slap of
Yeah.
provolone on top.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not really a roast beef like hoagie guy.
Jeff Walsh is a big bologna proponent.
I'm sure Jeff Walsh lives off bologna.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Me neither. He hasn't been by.
I haven't
Oddly,
seen him.
where you been, Jeff?
I haven't seen Jeff
Don't
in a
tell
while.
us. Bologna.
Yeah, there's always that house. My uncle's house, like he has 3 boys and a girl, and I've never gone. I mean, they have like 5 fridges in the house. I mean, like literally.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, this is Musa who comes down with my dad all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to his house without 12 to 14 people in the house at any given point.
And he probably loves it. That's his thing. Like he loves having everybody there.
He doesn't mind, man. The more the merrier. I mean, and it's like, some are family, some are kids' friends, some are kids' friends' families. It's always somebody at the house.
Geez, 5 refrigerators. That's like a dream. That's something to strive for.
He had 3 big boys, bro. They ate their way and tore their way through everything like locusts.
That's what, I'm nervous about that as my boys get older because right now they barely, well, Eli eats anything, but
gotta love Alan Rubin with the unfinished statement.
My friends
always liked the fact that my dad.
All right.
Hold on. Is this a game? Should we start an in-show contest? The best person who could complete.
Yes, I think we should.
He commented. Did you see this?
Finish Alan
Finish Alan Rubin's sentence and win a prize.
Yes.
Oh, here you go.
Try to see there's
no curfew, no
give
rule.
away. There you go. Finish that. Whoever has the funniest one. Man,
now, come on. That's a good one. My
friends
friends always appreciated the fact that my dad rarely.
Oh man, I can't remember what the beginning of the sentence was now.
My friends always
the fact that my dad.
This is gonna be funny. We should let Matt Booth come up with a couple entries.
Absolutely.
He was commenting, I guess, because he made the big move, and he was commenting about how he seriously underestimated the humidity in Texas there, and I guess he's in the Houston area.
Yeah.
Listen, from friends of mine that I know there, say it's 10 times worse than South Florida humidity. Wow. Loved his friend more than that's a good one.
Robert King. Oh, this is gonna be a.
What?
Oh, Tim McCabe. Wow.
Oh my God.
This is going.
Well, Alex here, or Alan,
down a bad road.
15 minutes.
I really don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch this, participate in this show. I'm too intrigued watching all the
comments.
Well, there's only one way to get that started. Let's get the guy who probably was going to contribute some of the best answers on in this in-show contest. And I got to I'll figure out something during the break to give away.
He'll find something in the office.
Yes. Let's bring on it. It's gonna be that time for Meet Your Maker.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
It's time to meet your maker.
Boofy baby.
Oh my God, am I live?
Yeah.
Are we here? Paul, am I here?
You are here. You're in the moment.
Fucking waiting 17 days for this. The anticipation was swell. It was like you were edging me out fiber optically.
All right, Matt.
It's crazy. Yes, sir.
You get your one entry. Complete the sentence.
Okay.
From Alan Rubin.
Alan
My
Rubin,
friends-
like the Legend cigar company
The
owner,
fake
or
No,
Alan
the other
Legend,
the fake
The
one.
other
My friends
Abercrombie
always,
underwear model. Yes,
There you
I'm
go.
familiar.
my friends always liked the fact that my dad,
Oh, finish the sentence.
yes,
Yes.
My friends always liked the fact that my dad, maybe in a moment, theatrically masturbates at passing traffic.
in that booth fashion.
I
Beautiful.
would expect nothing less.
That's rabidly spanking it, wearing some sort of fanciful headdress or some sort of, like, maybe perhaps saffron tunic or some sort of embellishment, bodily embellishment.
It's gonna
I
be
think.
one of those shows. In fact, we have the Would You Rather segment in hour 2. It's actually the
Oh.
Matt Booth edition. So
Oh no!
yeah, we have to.
There's a
read-
Matt Booth edition.
Yeah, we have to read
yeah.
the disclaimer before we start that section.
Please tell your children to get out of the room.
That's one of the disclaimers. Yes.
I like that, man. You know, and speaking of things to be spoken about, you know, as I was so patiently, Paul, so fucking patiently waiting for this whole thing,
Yes,
I
sir.
was watching your delightful intro, and I know, you know, every character. Oh my God, look at you, Papa.
It's never too far away from me.
Oh, just,
It just feels sexy.
it's just.
Oh, that's right. Those
Gripping.
boxes are that soft touch.
I don't know what it is. It just feels sexy.
Yeah, I love
You know what
I
I'm
love the
saying?
feel of those boxes.
Just
That was a
box
fun
stroking.
drunken night.
I don't even touch my
I know.
wife like this. I'm sorry. Were you saying
Speechless.
something, Matthew?
No, no, no. I mean, well, I was, but my words paled in comparison to the importance of what you were just doing. So I stopped.
Well,
Speaking.
continue.
I don't think he
Oh.
remembers.
No, no, I
He was
do.
talking
I
about
do.
the intro.
Well, on the intro, I know, you know, everybody's got the type of goat, the Italian stallion, which is questionable, but, you know, the goat, yes, but, you
Very
know, and then, but then Abe. Now I know people know him as Honest Abe, and I respect that. But why does it not say Big Delicious
Oh,
or a twofer?
Well,
Honest
the
Abe.
moniker Honest Abe began before Big Delicious.
Oh, I'm well aware of the
Yeah.
chronology here.
It was the moniker given for doing a talk show, I guess.
I mean, brutally Honest Abe
Sometimes,
is, you know,
sometimes. Mercifully Honest Abe. I guess you could do a whole series of adjectives that can go there.
I don't think there's no mercy.
Sometimes there is.
I haven't seen it.
So a lot has changed in the Matt Booth universe since you've last been on, since a few months ago.
Man, the Boothiverse has shifted
Yeah.
to another dimension.
So, you know, Matt, look, I know you got a lot of fans, but you've been around a lot longer than I think even some people know. Why don't you tell us?
That's right.
Why don't you get a little bit into the evolution of how you went from jewelry to cigars in a very short synopsis?
Oh shit. Okay, well, we're gonna go back. We're gonna take it back. So, Room 101 is a brand I founded in 2003, heavily inspired and influenced by Alfred Dunhill, right? Not aesthetically, but the nomenclature of Alfred Dunhill was always hypersexual to me. I love that brand. Like the Dunhill of 1950, right? 1960, right? This, you know, multi-class, uber luxurious lifestyle collective of all these different fine wares, right? And I fancied the idea of creating a brand that was similar in, you know, nomenclature, but aesthetically very different, you know. And so Room 101 in 2003 was a made-to-order jewelry brand. I worked in a factory downtown Los Angeles, learning basic, you know, wax carving, jewelry making process. And today I'm a partner in that factory.
Which is
and
no
that's
small
where-
feat, by the way. Like, I don't think people realize the intense side of like designing and making jewelry is a huge thing. I worked alongside a couple of jewelry manufacturers, and go ahead, please.
They have no idea.
Right.
But thank you for making honorable mention of that. I appreciate that. and on a quest to evolve it into a lifestyle collection, around '08 time frame, I began bumping uglies with some of the kids in the premium tobacco segment. Tobacco was
was that an accident, or were you seeking that out?
Man, it was cosmically connected to me. I wasn't seeking it proactively. I was always a casual cigar enjoyer, right? Kind of inspired by my Uncle Lee back in the day, who was the coolest guy in my family and a cigar smoker. Evolved from my grandfather, who was a pipe smoker, and I felt that tobacco and spirits, quite frankly, were two necessary components to round out our collection. Having no concept of either industry or how to approach them, I just naturally started to become connected with operators in the cigar business around '07, '08. And in '08, started having some more hot and heavy conversations with them about potentially creating a cigar with them, right? Which led to the launch of Room 101 Cigars in 2009.
So did you? I mean, at that time it was Camacho Cigars, so it was Sal.
That's correct.
It was
Sal and Christian prior to the acquisition by Davidoff.
Yeah, and Sal's actually the person who actually first introduced us. How did you end up with that company at that time?
So I had been making a practice to alternatively market my brand to the fashion community and fashion industry. So what we would do, instead of participating in the industry trade show, which I think some people could take notes from this for other industries, instead of participating in the industry trade show, what I did is I started throwing larger scale after extravaganzas, where I would entertain existing and prospective clients, following the trade show, and just give them an environment to, go nuts in, and follow up and close business with them after the fact, And it was a very effective platform for us to court new clients. And as these things grew, I wanted to spice them up with different elements. We started hiring, rappers and all this crazy shit, and I mean, it was pretty rad, man. I plan on, if my physical form can keep up with it, I think we should throw a 2023 version of one of these things. But oh yeah, that's right, Goat. That's right. So, but once upon an extravaganza, the crew from Camacho came out to kind of investigate our brand, and they were to sponsor the affair with some cigars. And this particular party we did a takeover of the Ghost Bar, which was on top of the Palms at the time, which was like piping shit hot, in the nucleus of its heyday, right? And shit had a little window on the patio. You could look down to the very bottom of it. It was very, I don't like heights, right? So anyways, but that was there. It was cool. And they came out, and I remember looking around literally every single fucking person in this club was smoking cigars, man. It was crazy. And it was a really, really cool moment, stitch in time. And it was also when we first had connected and started to become, I think they started to become interested in the potency of our brand. And they saw it as something that wasn't necessarily completely leveraged in the tobacco business. And I think that they, in terms of a specific type of kind of niche brand equity like ours, there were other operators in the game at the time. We were a little different, I think. And I think had something to offer. They felt that we would translate well as a brand into the category.
I'd like to spend the
which
hour,
shocking we did. Yes,
I want to spend the first hour of the show kind of working up to your journey of the major event.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
A little get more in depth than that in the second hour. So you had a couple different rides along the way. I mean,
wow.
Camacho got acquired, and then from there I don't know if there was anything in between the Davidoff phase and the La Polina phase, but what was it you as a manufacturer and entrepreneur was struggling most during these times of really kind of not having control of what was going on outwardly with the brand, whether it was Camacho, Davidoff, or La Polina? And I'm not sure if I missed one in between there. I think that might have been it.
Yeah, no, we worked. I worked with my friend Robert Rosadelic Caldwell for a couple years as well, in terms of facilitating fulfillment and all
All
that
right. So
stuff.
you've had 4 different, companies that you've worked with over the years. And what was, obviously, if it was all going that great, you don't leave, right? So obviously, what were some of the struggles you were having along the way during this kind of a process?
Yeah. Well, look, man, my struggles were no different than any craft brand owner that's operating in this business today, right? They were, product and people, and distribution, right? These are massive challenges for anybody in the business, especially on a craft level. For me, operating multiple businesses simultaneously and being, I don't even know what you want to call it, a creative house or a house of brands, whatever you want to call it. I was always looking for partners that they're day in, day out, live, breathe, eat, sleep, shit, and other fill in the blank other activities was premium tobacco, because I needed a channel to bring my message and my product to market, right, in this space. And that's what I was constantly looking for. I was looking for someone that could help me facilitate the nuts and bolts, pulling the logistical levers on a daily basis. Obviously with my, in partnership with me or my direction to achieve distribution of our product, and I think in many cases, although these types of partnerships look good on paper, at the end of the day, no one is going to treat something that they don't own like it's theirs, right? And so you're forever, if you're going to work out of someone else's house, you're forever going to get, I don't want to say second rate treatment, but you're going to get second consideration in every regard, So
it's not their baby.
It's not their baby. And I mean, it does. And honestly, I think from both sides, I think if anyone was sitting down, which I would imagine that many people have, I know that they have, but I mean, if two interested parties were going to sit down, it looks good from across the table. One partner that has some sort of machine that could facilitate the fulfillment and distribution of a brand entity sees, the ability to pipe something that's viable through their channel, pick up a little extra scratch for their services along the way. Looks good, looks good on paper until that entity is getting in the way of them selling their own shit, which is what happens, right? And then they can't justify expending the energy on your behalf the way they could for their own product, for their own margins. Simultaneously, someone on the opposite side of the table, I think, looks and sees the opportunity to not have to, triple down on facility, additional staff. You could go down the laundry list of things that are required to facilitate this. And that looks good on paper, until you're dealing with someone that's putting you second.
I have to believe that the day-to-day stuff is the part of the business, which is the grind of the business, is the stuff that you're least excited about. Honestly,
man, it's like the stuff that you have to put up with to continue to do the stuff that you love, right? It's like or what component of it that you really love. That stuff, that minutia is now some guys, Rain Man level, right? That's what they live and breathe, right? And they find them in a logistical position, a position of logistical management. But those guys, those unicorns are few and far between, I think.
Yeah, we lost you a little bit in there in that dialogue.
You're getting a little wonky. You're a little frozen up.
I just said, I think. Can you hear me now?
I think so.
You're getting there.
It might slowly be coming back.
Not changing anything. Then.
Try standing on one leg and not actually doing it. There you go.
And it's frozen there now.
Somebody screenshot that.
Yeah.
Is it on my groin? On my groin piece?
It froze on your groin piece.
It was.
Oh, that's perfect.
You're still a little wonky.
It's like it's meant to be. Hold on. Let me see if I can just clip the fucking Wi-Fi here, man. Maybe that's the problem.
All right, let's see. It could be.
He may disappear.
He may not. I'm sure he'll return. Can he hear us?
It's funny when you start talking real stuff with him, how
the universe conspires against him. We don't.
Well, no, not even that. But
Okay.
it's serious dialogue, right?
Oh,
Now?
when you get Matt, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we haven't
When
had
you
one.
get serious, Matt.
We haven't had one anal comment yet.
Right. So what we were asking was, what
we
is
want to talk about
actually
butt stuff?
no? Well, we wanted to know the diameter of your nipples. What is the diameter? Are we talking like like quarters or like the bottom of a Snapple bottle?
No, very aesthetically pleasing, proportionate to the pectoral, good color hue throughout. No
Pinkish or
fucking weird
purplish?
nipple shit here. No. They're kind of they're auburn. They're the correct tone for my meat suit. Everything is very dialed in, as you
Continue,
know,
Abe.
or as you could imagine. Yeah.
Oh man.
So, obviously we're close, we're friends, so I was privy
Yes.
to a lot of the struggles that you were having at the time. And I think, most people on the consumer level don't realize it's more than just making a label and a brand and putting a stick on a box, right? It's a long and tedious process, and especially to try to look. I've said it before. These distribution deals. I mean, I can count on one hand how many really endure or end up really working out successfully in my whole
And
career.
and the level of success, I think, could be scrutinized to some degree. It takes a really magical, I think, and I'm not saying it's impossible because nothing's impossible, but what I am saying is it would take a very, very cosmic collection of components to make that really line up so that both parties were equally dissatisfied.
Equally
true spirit of
dissatisfied. Well, I'll tell you what. In
Yeah.
my career, I'll tell you the ones that have existed basically one, but the two since I've gotten into the business pretty much. And from somebody who used to do all the buying and interact, it always seemed like they were one company. In fact, I'll bet my left testicle there are some retailers that don't even know that some of these are actually two different companies.
I can think of one off my head.
The longest and really one of the most successful I've seen is JC Newman Fuente, right? So a lot of people don't even realize they're two different companies because you get a bill and you order from the same person, right? So two completely different companies. Fuente doesn't do any distributions. You don't get nothing from Fuente. They make their cigars. They deliver a product to JC Newman. All the distribution comes from JC Newman. Miami Cigar in La Aurora is one of the oldest ones. And I tell you, when they come in, you never really see a difference when you're talking to them, whether it's a La Aurora or Miami product, and probably one of the most unpredictably successful ones I've seen in my career, which I really feel like, I think they're so successful, I forget sometimes they're two different companies, is Drew Estate and Hoya de Nicaragua.
Right.
They push Hoya strong as if they own the brand. Then again, who knows? There might be a backdoor deal. They might own some of the brand. I don't know. But they push strong like they own the brand. But, that's like three I could name in 26 years of this industry. There's a plethora of failed ones. So it's not easy. And it hasn't been proven to be easily successful relationships. He's on the move.
He is on the move.
Hold on, guys. I'm on the move, man. I gotta find a better signal. Because it's all.
I feel like we're on an episode of Cops.
Okay.
We're going into the house.
We're going in the house.
Where's the meth? Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, man. I think you're right in all those instances, right? And
signal's much better.
But who knows what's going on behind the scenes too? You never know what the relationship is, and much better.
No, I was being sarcastic.
Can you hear me?
Now that you're close, you should go to the Wi-Fi.
I was going to say you might want to Wi-Fi it now.
That's what I'm going to do. Unbelievable,
right,
guys. I am so sorry. This is not the experience I want to provide for you.
Quentin Thor wants to know if you're in your bedroom. He got excited.
He may disconnect and come back in. Hold on.
Well,
Well,
in that sense, since he disconnected,
he's working.
I made an initial post. Might as well follow the button while he's here. But as you can see now officially, the Quentin Thor name is crossed off.
Is that what that envelope was that you posted? It had his.
I never followed through to see if he actually sent the $20. It's still in there. He actually did send the signed $20 bill.
Nice.
So
What did that take? 2 years?
A little over, probably. So his debt has been paid.
Let it be known
Though
throughout the land.
he's claiming it more as a belated birthday gift than he lost the bet.
Sounds about right.
Goofy, are we back?
Yes, I
Yo,
think we're good.
I think we are.
Oh,
Oh
damn
my
it.
God, I apologize.
It's all right. Quentin wants to know, is this your bedroom? Is this the love nest?
No, it is not.
Okay.
No, it is not. It's my mother-in-law's bedroom.
But we have
we're
been
visiting.
in your bedroom before for an interview. One of the isn't it gray?
That's correct.
I think I may have pictures of it somewhere. Let's see.
In my Chateau de Plaisir.
Paul's been quietly studying it.
Of course he has.
Listen, I'll say this because Matt's talking about how it's hard to find somebody that feels as passionate or that will put the amount of time and effort. But one of the things that I've admired about Room 101 since I've met Matt is that he's a very genuine marketer, right? He is who he is. He's very personable with people, but like you can tell that his passion is in everything that he does, the jewelry making and the cigars, and it's just like I don't know. I don't feel like I'm being sold to when you're talking to Matt about his products or his brand. It's a genuine like thing that he's passionate about it. So I think that's what draws people in to the things
Thanks,
that you do.
man.
Oh, yeah. Matt actually looks smooth.
I appreciate that.
Is that a little tear you got going on there?
Yeah, it's just a little,
Yeah, that was just wonderful. That was just so. Yeah,
Oh, we might have to have the sound bite that part right there.
that was wonderful.
Oh, but it's true. Credit where credit is due. But
Thank you, Rob.
Abe, let's go back to what you were talking about now. We were talking about the journey leading up to where he is and all the trials and tribulations and changes that he's had.
We're getting there. I mean, so let me ask you a question. What are the biggest differences that you have experienced with distributing your cigar brand and distributing your jewelry? Because you went into retail with your jewelry line.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
How did that weigh out for you? What did you find? One was better, one was worse. Were the one better in some ways and one better in others?
Well, I mean, the cigar business has some echoed sentiments from several different tiers of business in jewelry and accessory game. Like, for example, I've always related dealing with Smoke Inn to dealing with a department store. It's like a big box store. It's far more organized. It has a myriad of different processes and requirements established to be able to stand up and conduct consistent business with. And then the multitude of cigar stores across the country, I think that business is far more reflective of dealing with specialty store, like individual or possibly like 2-location, upscale fashion or fine jewelers, right? So there are a good deal of things that are overarchingly similar. And this is across all three categories between peddling, a luxury or unneeded consumable or product, right?
I mean,
and then
I keep forgetting the liquor. I mean, liquor distribution has to be probably the biggest nightmare of all three.
Oh my God, it's a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah.
Holy Christ, man. Oh, you thought distributing cigars was hard. Fucking pucker up, buttercup. You ain't seen nothing. Lick it.
There
lick
it is.
it. That's right.
Which, by the way, was the back cover of The Great Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
it was.
Last year.
Boom.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Soundbite that shit. Boom. Yeah, man, look at that. What a beautiful placement, and what a fanciful event and gathering.
It was. Wait till you see next year.
I can't wait. I am very erect.
So wait, let me ask you. So we talked about the jewelry. We talked about
I wanted to ask you
gin.
because I remember when he called me, he was all excited because he was going to be in this big. I don't know if you want to mention him or not, but gotten a big box retailer, right?
Yeah, when Nordstrom took us in.
Yes. How was that? Did that work out for you? Were you disappointed by that experience? Was it extremely successful? I mean, obviously they were selling more of your midstream. I mean, they weren't selling any of the high custom fashion stuff. It was more of
That's correct.
Mass market appeal jewelry. How did that work out for you? Because we never really, we talk about cigars mostly when we get together. We never really talk about the other aspects of your businesses.
So look, I mean, all of the above, right? There were high highs and low lows, right? In that relationship, we're currently still doing business with them, but it was an amazing way to kind of get my sea legs underneath me, dealing with big box retail and supplying them, as a smaller company. Tremendous amount of challenges there. You have to be set up on their EDI system, which takes, a tech wizard to be able to deliver SKU by SKU. All ordering is done electronically, right? So there's none of the salesman comes in, writes down on the pad what you want, calls it into the office. This is all their buyers go into this system, this EDI system, and order SKU by SKU after you present to them, which is a whole treasure trove of fuckology in and of itself, right? So it challenges, yes, but the benefits of brand validation, there's a certain pride, I think, with being associated with a retail outlet like that, and also, like I said, brand validation. So,
in order of best to worst, what's the hardest industry in getting it to the final consumer?
Alcohol.
Okay, I knew that
without question.
Which is second, or which is first and second? Alcohol's number one. Who's number two?
Alcohol's number one. Well, I'd say jewelry number two and cigars number three.
Okay.
Yeah, but none are easy.
No, I mean, no one's saying one's real easy, but it's the order of which one's the worst.
And I list the cigar business, the premium, and you have to, segregate premium from, cigarette and all that other stuff.
Of course.
But what would be considered, yes, man, look at Quentin Thor. Look at this motherfucker just all over this shit. Look at him. Amazing.
I thought the E stood for erect, but sorry.
I just assumed.
When it deals with the distribution of my products, obviously, yes. E and then E parentheses. You know how they
erectile dysfunctional inhibitants. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, man. Fuck, that's good. It's like some shit I would think of.
Right, erectile
dysfunction
inhibitor.
Yeah, man. That is what Room 101 is. It's an erectile dysfunction inhibitor. That's the chief agent and chief component of our success. Yeah. If I dare to use the word success, look at that.
Custom made by my brother.
I was just going to say, is that a necklace? That's a 16-inch necklace made for.
Actually,
that's originally Darth Vader. Yeah.
What about would there be other industries that the Room 101 brand would be involved in, or is this what it is? You think?
No, man. I mean, there are other categories of goods I'm interested in further developing. However, kind of have our hands full at this moment, So, I mean, any further expansion would probably come through some form of strategic partnership. But I'm definitely interested.
Is there anything you're gleaming at?
Well, because I happen to be a consistent user of the category, I enjoy.
Condoms?
I would.
That's where I was thinking.
No, man. Let's not get crazy. This is bareback villain. So, but eyewear.
Oh.
Like optical. But I've
that's a natural transition, especially being in the fashion jewelry realm. I mean, that's a lot of.
Yeah. But there's a lot that goes into that treasure trove of fucking category development, So it's like one thing at a time here, or three things at a time here.
I unfortunately have gotten into eyewear in the last year, 2 years. That shit's expensive. I'm not talking about like just sunglasses. I'm just talking about like my everyday wearing glasses. If you don't want to wear something that's mucky or whatever, stuff's not cheap. Yeah, and then it gets stupid if you start looking at it as any form of fashion and you want different styles, and then you want maybe this color for Eyewear can not be it can be a very expensive vice.
Well, you got frames that are $1,000, $1,500 or more for frames before you do anything with lenses.
Eyewear is interesting too because literally, like, one conglomerate owns the whole market. Luxottica.
Yeah, I mean,
there is
most all of them.
And you got like Warby
98%.
Parker and guys like that, but otherwise it's all Luxottica.
Eyewear, super interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's such a part of my life, though. I've been wearing glasses since I'm 3 years old.
Your glasses, Paul, are a whole different.
Yeah.
Paul has the sixth grade glassware.
Paul
these are Tom Ford.
I don't care what they are.
Oh, don't name
But
drop
listen,
here.
Paul has the drunk simulator eyeglasses.
Drunk?
I mean,
How about
you put
tripping
Paul's
acid?
eyeglasses on, you can, yeah, it's like you're on acid. It's like you're on drunk and on acid. Seriously.
I gave up when I was a teenager. I got contacts. Yeah, when I got to like 13 years old, I wore contacts every day until I was probably 25, and then I just, for somebody with my nearsightedness that can't have the laser correction, it's a nightmare with contacts moving around, and it's just, they don't make dailies for me, they don't make monthlies for me or quarterly. Like, you have to have the ones that you keep for a year, and halfway through the year they're just the most uncomfortable things in the world. So I gave up on those. I have like emergency pairs for, like, if we do like a snorkeling trip or something, I throw them in. They're not the right prescription, so I can't see perfectly, but yeah, I have crazy lenses. I walk into an optician's office and they're like, they see like stars. They get all excited. They see dollar signs.
He literally left his glasses here one time, and
my prescription sunglasses.
Yeah, we were passing them around like a joint. Here, put this on. Put this on. We're all putting it on, trying to walk around the office.
Coincidentally, I have lost those again. I don't know where they are. Since I came back from New York, I can't find them. So now you get used to wearing sunglasses all the time, and now I can't see when I go outside. I just kind of squint as much as I can. But eyewear would be a cool. I could see some cool designs coming from the Room 101 brand for sure. Little spikes on the arms of the glasses. You can have that one.
Get carried away. Spikes. Okay.
So,
but yeah, they'd be cool.
Coming into
if I made it, it would be cool.
Coming into hour two, let's work towards the connection that happened, and was announced a few months ago. And then in hour two, we'll get into what exactly does that mean for Matt Booth and Company. So the last company you were working with was La Polina?
That's correct.
Okay. How did the dialogue begin for you to eventually, because like, people don't understand, right? Typically, if somebody gets acquired, this shit's been talked about for a long time.
This is the byproduct of a flirtation that has been going on
2 years.
Oh, many years.
Yeah. So I mean,
many
years. They, in consumers' minds, like they think, oh, you just started talking like 30 days ago. No, man.
Yeah. It's like let's go to Starbucks. Fuck it, cool. Yeah, we're
done. Shake. We're good. They don't realize the due diligence of a lot of people and all. It's like a multi-year process sometimes. So, when did you first conceive or think of the idea that this is a path that you would consider at this point in your career?
Well, I think that when it really started to churn my psychological butter was about 2 years ago, because I had been retained by them basically to redesign 2 of their company-owned brand assets. And this is like what I love to do, and I think one of the things that I do best. And so
you were retained by them before the conversation that possibility of an acquisition.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it was a very interesting. I mean,
who was the first person that reached out to you?
Well, I was talking with Justin Andrews about it. That was the first person that I really discussed the potential for a project like that with. And obviously the legend Chris Tarr came into the picture shortly after that, and cigar industry legend, as we know. And and I had already had a relationship with these guys because I was a contract manufacturing partner with them for several years. They make a couple of our products in the Hatsa factory in Honduras. And so as I began to design these products and work with them, a kind of a byproduct of this creative consultancy was, I think, a shared understanding that we worked effectively as you know as partners, and we were effectively able to kind of test drive the relationship in advance, which was, I think, super cool. A very cool opportunity for both of us.
As it began to evolve in front of you, was it something that were your initial feelings like, this is not a path I'm interested in? Or was it something that immediately said, whoa, wait, could be a great opportunity for me?
Well, I felt it was a great opportunity for the brand out of the gate. And it was, there were a multitude of little critical points that were all falling into place. Like, if this was the General Cigar Company of 10 years ago, the opportunity for Room 101 to flourish within their organization, I don't think would have been there the way that it is today, right? Because a lot of stars had to align. A lot of executive level leadership had to get into the position they're in. And then, the company had to evolve into a place where it could legitimately be a launch pad for a craft entity like this. So a lot of this has to do, they say right place, right time, but there's always more than that in that equation. It's always right place, right time, right brand, or right place, right time, right people, etc. Right?
Right place, right time is where it starts. Then
That's correct.
Then it's got to continue down a positive path.
Exactly. So I saw a very voluptuous and beautiful, from cursory inspection lily pad for us to leap onto, but there were some critical elements that had to be established there, and it was really a luxury to be afforded that working relationship in advance to really get into the nuts and bolts of what it would potentially look like, feel like, and be like, to be partnered with them on a greater level.
And for you, I mean, let's forget about, and we'll get more into it now or two, but let's forget about all the logistics that now that burden is, you've been released from that burden, right? Gone. So forget about all that benefit.
Yes.
Just the mere fact that this wouldn't be another distribution deal, an actual acquisition, where now the exact problem you were talking about earlier, where it's never somebody else's baby, that now is somebody else's baby.
I had to delete that. Element because, look, there are a few people I think that have been through the myriad of distribution arrangements that I have in this business that are still standing. And so few know better than I where the pitfalls lie and where the potential upside benefit could lie as well. And that was the chief issue in all my relationships. And so I said, okay, how do we get to a point where we delete that from the equation in a way that's fair and equitable for everyone involved?
I think the one thing, look, it's really funny with consumers, right? Because I've seen it happen with you. I saw it happen with Drew Estate, how you have this base that feels like, oh my God, how can you do that to us, right? Which I find absurd, right? I mean, we're all working towards some kind of end game. And if selling your business at that point is part of your end game, anyone who's a real fan should just be happy for you at that point. I was overseas when this happened. You called me.
Yeah.
To give me the heads up. So I kind of knew before the news got out. And then to see some of the feedback is very shocking, but it's always short-lived, right? Because everybody was burning down Drew Estate when they got acquired. And look at their fan base today. They couldn't even remember how it was any other way. So, but
exactly
for this, and what I think that most of the people don't understand is, I'm trying to go back in my career and think if there's another example of this. And none's coming to mind, and maybe you'll think of one. But almost every time there's a situation like this, it's made with the short-term intention, right? I mean, I think the acquisitions take place where the new company wants the principal involved for a certain period of time and then move them on. It's not with the intention that we want to acquire this company and retain the principal. And the feeling from both sides, what I'm getting out of any kind of deal, that this wants to be a long-term partnership in brand development. And I don't know, nothing publicly has been said about this, but I could totally see them looking at it as, hey, this is somebody we could groom as a future to do, a personality of our company, which, in my opinion, they really didn't have. I mean, Rick Rodriguez was great, but if you were going to say there was a face before Matt Booth, it would be him. But unlike, hey, we're acquiring a company and eventually the principal's going to, whether it's Tim Ozinger or Christian Aroa, the principal's going to leave at some point in the near future. I think the feeling of this is that there's a path for a future that both parties are looking for.
100%. I mean, that's a component of the shared vision, which I think is also critical to long-term health of relationship, is that we are truly aligned on all of the core principle level matters related to, the long-term responsible growth and overall health of the Room 101 cigar business, and part of that, for me, my responsibility to the project is to continue to be the ultimate caretaker for the brand and ensure that it maintains its original and core genetics, and also to help work with them. It is part of my responsibility to help mitigate long-term key man risk associated, right? A lot of people associate the brand with myself and vice versa, and it would be irresponsible of me not to kind of help shepherd it into their care for the long term. But I'm very content with the relationship. I'm very content with the creative freedom I'm being allocated in the relationship. And I think that there's nothing to me that doesn't indicate that this is something that couldn't continue into perpetuity.
Cool. Well, we're going to get
at this juncture.
Well, we're going to get more into that in hour two, what the perpetuity might entail for you in the future. Also, we got a couple great segments. Right after the break, Name That Jam. We're going to test Matt Booth's musical acumen, sponsored by good friends Avo Cigars. Also, as always, up-to-date news from our brother and our key contributor, William Cooper. See what the scoop with Coop is. Tale of Tape, Season 5, week number 2's in hour 2, and a very special edition of Would You Rather, all coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Keep it lit.
The H. Upman, Nicaragua by AJ Fernandez. The original versus the heritage. What's the difference between the two? The H. Upman, Nicaragua, AJ Fernandez heritage. The story of AJ Fernandez, coming from Cuba, raised by his grandmother out there, has a lot of love for the country, but also he loves tobacco, and he loves his new area where he bought his farm called Finca La Lilia, named after his grandmother, Farm of Lily. So he's got the love of tobacco, he's got the love of Cuba, and he's got the love of Nicaragua. Let's put them all together. So that tells the story of this triple fermented Brazilian Matafina wrapper and AJ estate grown Nicaraguan binders and fillers, creating a beautiful array of some sweetness, soft leather, a little bit of spice, with nice aroma notes of black pepper and earth tones. We hope you go out and enjoy this one, that it really tells the story of AJ, his love of Cuba, Nicaragua, and H. Upman. So please go out and try one. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. H. Upman, Nicaragua, AJ Fernandez, Heritage.
Surgeon General warning. Cigar smoking can cause cancers of the mouth and throat, even if you do not inhale.
Celebrating 85 years of success, the Monte Cristo 1935 Anniversary Nicaragua is a tribute to the outstanding accomplishments the brand has achieved since their inception, receiving multiple awards such as the #2 Cigar of the Year in 2021 for Cigar Aficionado, 2021's Best Cigar for Cigar Snob magazine, and 3 more prestigious awards. The Monte Cristo 1935 Anniversary Nicaragua comes from the creative minds of Rafael Nadal, AJ Fernandez, and the Grupo de Maestros. This full-body Nicaraguan Puro pays homage to the original tobaccos that were used in the very first Monte Cristo cigar that was ever produced. Flavor notes you'll detect while smoking this gem are pepper, cedar, and chocolate, which pairs perfectly with a cappuccino. No matter what 4 sizes you pick, this classic smoke will send you on a trip down memory lane and all the way back to 1935.
I don't want to miss one commercial. Are they talking about, they think they're going to play Phenomenal? Is that what they're looking for?
They're looking for Phenomenal.
Yeah, you might as well play it. Quentin's holding a piss for it.
Go ahead.
Phenomenal. 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 Phenomenal.
So,
What the fuck was that?
I was watching
Did you
Booth's
see his
face
eyes
while it was
light
playing.
up?
I don't
mean,
see that
I'm
stuff.
interested.
I was just curious. What is the origin story of that clip? Is that a real Muppets
That's
clip
a
where
real
he's saying
clip from the Muppets. Yes.
where he's saying phenomenal?
No, he's
it
saying
was
Phenomena.
Okay, so who made this original video?
Of Juan?
Who audio dubbed this? Who
I
made
did.
this?
I did.
There should be fucking like awards in the cigar industry for shit like this.
I mean, I got to give myself a little credit there. That was some of my best work.
There should be awards in the cigar industry for shit like this. That could be one of the most genius pieces I've seen made in this industry. Kudos.
Thank you.
It's great. It's a good piece.
Oh man, when
Well
we played
done,
it for
Goat.
Juan,
Well done.
he lost it. He lost it. He was dying. Remember?
Oh yeah. You guys got to give me fucking admin access to this. I don't get to see any of this shit. I watch it like every other fan out there. I don't get the back end stuff.
Oh, you mean you didn't see Matt
I
Booth
can't see it.
changing his
No,
clothes in between the break?
No, I can't see any of the back end. So before we get into the nitty gritty, we have a segment called Name That Jam, sponsored by the fine folks at Owl Cigars. Matt, we're going to test your acumen with coming up right now. All right. Just on a side bit, if I was really Juan Cancel, I'd be reaching out to you and say, look, can I just like start any video that we ever make with this entry? I mean, that should just be his company entry. Seriously.
Agreed.
All right, Matt, we know you.
Yes, sir.
We know you have musical knowledge, and this is a very simple segment. We play you 3 seconds of a song, and we're going to see.
Okay.
And we're going to see if you're able to name that jam. Presented by
Okay.
Owl Cigars. Are you ready, sir?
I have never been more ready for anything in my life.
All right, let's run it.
My baby left me sad and
If you need the clip again,
Yeah, this is.
Oh, it didn't play it for me.
What?
Oh, I have to hit. Okay, play it again because I have to hit the thing that lets me hear it.
okay, I'll
I
do it
guess.
again.
Because it plays it like an ad where you have to. You see.
Okay.
No.
my baby left me sad and
Did you hear it that time?
I heard part.
I think he heard it the first time. He just didn't know it was a song.
No, that's not true. I had to hit the button to allow it. I don't know. I got nothing on that.
Yeah, it was a real obscure one. I've never heard the song even.
All right, should we
Wait,
reveal it, or
any-
you want to see?
Oh, there's some guesses. Somebody knows the
some guesses.
song. Let's see. Let's see what the song is.
All right.
put it in my mouth.
She said, put it in her mouth. I mean, her mouth. She said, put it in her mouth.
Nice.
It was all,
Appropriate.
all our segments seem to be Matt Booth inspired this week.
Yeah, clearly.
Are you familiar with that song?
Yes.
Oh, so there you go. Well, Matt, sorry, my friend, you were
Quentin
unable.
as well.
I
Quentin
lost.
nailed it.
Quentin nailed it right away.
Quentin's fucking all over this shit, man. Superpower right there.
Well, you were unable to name that jam, but thank you for the efforts, and thanks to the fine folks at Avo Cigar. Smoking Avo Cigar this weekend, always a piece of musical masterpiece. There you go. So before the break, we were getting into your newly formed relationship with General Cigar. They acquired your company, and you have taken on a important role. What is there a title? Did they give you a title to your role, or is it just Matt Booth?
Chief Bizarro of the cigar business.
I would almost believe that, but really, did they give you a title?
I think internally I'm referred to as a creative director.
Oh, there you go. Creative director. So will your responsibilities just remain in the cultivation, growth, and development of the Room 101 brand, or do you think, like the two projects which we'll talk about shortly that you worked on with them, do you see yourself venturing, branching out more into other projects with them as a company?
I mean, one of my core focuses obviously is Room 101 as a whole. However, I've already lent some touch to two company projects. One that's distributed from the General side, another that's distributed from the Ford side in the newly revamped and revitalized Sancho Panza brand and Los Stados Deluxe. Right. So
since you brought those up, now let's
Yeah.
talk about Sancho Panza.
Yeah, man, old school.
Literally
Crazy, right?
one of the Cuban brands I really enjoyed in my earlier
Mhm.
days when I used to smoke them more often.
Mhm.
Very successful when it came out. I was there when it was originally launched. Very successful when it came out. Kind of died out.
Mhm.
They tried rebranding it. It failed. I believe this is the third time it's being re-released.
Mhm.
Do you, as a guy who's been in charge of creatively redeveloping something, do you look at that with interpretation? Like, I mean, to creatively come out with something for the first time, in my opinion, is almost easier as someone who does some creative thinking than to try to redo something that already has some predetermined, especially guys who have been in the industry long enough,
Right.
predetermined.
I get that.
To the past. How did you feel going into this project?
I mean, look, this is what I love to do. I was really excited for the opportunity, because I do what I do for my own branded products all the time, right? And it was interesting to be able to apply some forceful touch and leering eyeballs to another brand and be able to reinterpret it. So I was super excited. I wasn't intimidated by that. I wanted to give this brand the proper respect it
It's an
deserves
old
in
Cuban name,
presentation. 100%.
It's a legacy brand.
Well, and Sancho Panza to me represents like an OG smoker's smoke, right? Like my Uncle Lee smokes fucking White Owl, period. Like he smokes every day, and when he runs out of premium cigars that I send him, Room 101 or otherwise, he immediately picks up White Owl again because he smokes before anything else, right? And I think that a lot of the cats that smoke Sancho Panza are day in, day out cigar smokers before anything. They're not brand collectors. They're not subscribers to all the, possibly all the craft industry fodder, right, in our business. They're cigar smokers. And so for me to be able to fuck around with a brand equity that was followed and consumed on a regular by smokers of that vernacular was a super cool opportunity. And I wanted to, and I believe that I did do it justice.
I obviously I have a buyer now, so I don't do all the buying. Sancho Panza
It's a flex.
has always been a value buy, right? It was a moderately priced cigar, a great and entry price. I didn't look. Is that continue with this relaunch, or has it become a little bit more?
I think it's a little, the price has escalated slightly, but it's still a tremendous value for the.
It still falls in the value.
Yeah. I'd say so, based on what pricing is today as a whole. And both of these products, both Sancho and Los Stados, I worked at a factory level with Justin Andrews to basically reimagine the blend composition for these products. And then, of course, I led my design touch to the products. But I think Sancho is built. Both of them are built to withstand the next 10, 20 years in the game. Right?
Now,
they're built.
Just to clarify, you weren't in any part of the process of the making of the cigars, or were you, or just the brand?
No, I was involved in the reblending of the. Of the cigars. Yeah.
There you go.
So, but with Justin and I worked at the factory to reimagine the blends, basically.
So let's talk about this one.
Man.
One, it's been
highly sexual.
It's already been nominated. I don't even know if you're aware of this, but
do tell.
Oh, it's been nominated for 2022 as one of the cigars most difficult to open and get to smoke. So
Nice.
Congrats and kudos. On that.
It's called edging.
Oh yeah,
maybe you're familiar with it.
I threw out all the packaging
Yeah.
to get to the cigar. I feel like it's those child-proof, medicine bottles that adults can't open. It was like almost like that. But smoking very well. More importantly, selling very well across all our locations. So the brand's doing good, and I found it very uniquely coincidental. I know, Los Satos Deluxe, but that a Matt Booth project had the letters LSD in them. So,
well,
tell us a little bit about.
You got to open your mind's eye.
There you go.
You got to go deep.
Tell us a little bit about Los Satos.
So Los Satos had a little less, or a tremendous amount less history in the States, in the domestic market as a brand. Other than Sancho Panza, right, had some history here. Los Satos did not, or did not as much. And so I kind of freestyled it. I wanted to create a true moniker for that brand, a real graphic that could stand up, and stand the test of time, and give it a signature trade dress and genetic that was going to easily recognizable at retail. And that was the same for both brands, right? But I wanted this one. I went a little deeper on, I think, in terms of its dress, and I'm really, really proud of the way that it turned out.
Can you tell us a little bit about the blend?
Absolutely. It's a potent mid-brown, mid to mid plus dark brown, medium to medium plus body and flavor, and erotically potent to the palate.
I love the difference between the old and
the bam! Look at that shit, man. Look at that shit. Look at it. Nothing wrong with the old one. Respect it very much. All right, but look at that.
Now this was a brand that existed before here in the U.S. outside of the Cuban version.
From my understanding, it was sold in a very, very minimal fashion for a short period of time years ago in the U.S. So long ago that the 10-second attention span of today's internet generation would never know that it ever existed.
I was about to say, I don't remember it at all. I mean, I don't recall it at all.
From my understanding, it was sold here, but on a very, very limited basis and not for some time.
Could have been.
But the interesting thing about Los Satos
could have been sold for trademark, issues too. A lot of time our industry will do that.
So I mean, the cool thing about LSD is that in Cuba it was always understood to be a bit more of a machine-made kind of neighborhood, like everyday. It was like their White Owl, to give another shout out to White Owl for Uncle Lee, right? So to bring it into a boutique premium vernacular was, I thought, super cool. I love the name, I love the brand. I happen to be a little personally connected to it now through this process, and I think it's super cool to pay it a little bit of respect and get it some respect that it's always deserved.
Well, if you're out there and you haven't tried this cigar, and you actually want to experience the incredible effectiveness of the difficulty level of unpacking it,
hyper-eroticism.
There you go.
The EDI.
We do have a live code at smokein.com for this. It's for pretty much all the new releases we have coming in. If you use the code NEW22, 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 you can get 10% off, additional 10% off on boxes, or 10% off on a 5-pack of the Los Satos Deluxe. This is the cigar that's the forged side.
That's correct.
Perfect. So that's another good question. Is your role, across both segments of the organization? Will you be working more with Forge? Will you be working more with General, or is there not a line for what you do there?
Well, Room 101 is distributed through the Forge organization, right? So I imagine that I'd be spending the majority of my time lurking about with those guys. However, you know, as you know very well, Big Delicious, you can't put a leash on a rattlesnake. A being such as myself cannot be confined to boundaries, and wherever the need for design and overt product molestation arises, I will be there.
Does this new relationship require you to move? Or are you guys going to stay where you're at?
No requirement to move. You know, I operate as I always have, clandestinely.
Very
shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be no Met booth desk in office.
Well, they're installing like a little Tykes desk inside Justin Andrews' office for when I come in, you know, to parlay. But you know, no.
You got a place to sit.
Yeah. Paul knows the one, the multicolored plastic joint, the blue, the.
I have one here.
Yeah.
My kids have one in the other room.
Yeah. It's a similar model. Yeah. It's where I do my best work.
That's so funny. So
under the desk.
Obviously,
under the desk, under Justin's desk.
That's where you do your best work.
I mean, look, man, buck's a buck, bro.
Hey,
buck's a buck. Under the desk, on the desk, doesn't really make a difference.
Over the desk.
And I think a lot of people don't understand this, but what's some of the things now that you're most excited about that have become available to you that weren't so available or readily available or easily available in your prior business model?
Oh, shit, man. I mean, dude, where do I start? I mean, I'm excited about a lot. So obviously excited and grateful for the Uber logistics support for the brand, right? Not having to worry about all the little, the details that go into getting a product into the US, you know. I'm tremendously excited for the global potential of the relationship. You know, Room 101 effectively becomes a very well empowered, well endowed, and distributed craft brand globally.
Did Room 101 have international distribution prior to this?
We distributed officially in 2 countries, in the UK and in Switzerland previously. Yeah. You know, and, you know, the company is developing some really, really interesting lounge and retail experiences globally that Room 101 will be patched into all of that. You know, the fact that we have an army of soldiers in the streets speaking our name, selling this product on a daily, you know, and that I can work hand in hand with them and have my efforts in market be authentically reinforced after I'm gone is very exciting to me. You know, all of it really, to be very frankly, frankish, frankadelic,
Frankenstein, Funkenstein.
Funkenstein.
Any other cool factors?
I mean, as you know, I keep a pretty regimented program with artisanal creams and lotions. You know, I have a very extravagant rider with them. Color assorted candies, obviously. I mean, it almost goes without saying. Bottomless chicken shack dinner. Yeah, I mean the list goes on, but I'm just hitting the highlights really. So my rider is exponential.
You know, Ron, it's not just a Tyranno effect. There was many lines that met the graveyard, but none of these. You know, when Tyranno sold, they disappeared off the face of the cigar industry map. I mean, there's a real difference here in this deal, in the fact that it wasn't just a brand acquisition. It was really more of an acquisition / new partnership relationship. So
100%.
I don't think that that effect is going to be quite as probable in this scenario.
I mean, like I said before, I think if this was 10 years ago, this would have been a no-go. You know, part of the shared sentiment throughout the entire conversation was that, you know, that I was to remain involved to make sure. Oh,
real quick.
Yo,
hey, we got a part two. All right, everybody.
The fuck
finish Alan Rubin's sentence.
Oh
my God.
No, I think they should make a new one.
What does he hit enter?
I also.
I don't know.
Yeah, what the fuck, Alan?
This is like ad libs. Ready? My friends always like the fact that my dad, period. I also fill in the blank.
Theatrically masturbate to traffic.
Oh, boy.
Get out of the shower to pee. Get out of the shower to pee. That's what you do, Alan. I know you do. You get out of the shower to pee. You animal.
He probably does get out of the shower to pee.
He gets out of the shower. I mean, that's a special kind of thing, you know, and only in the most solemn of twilight hours of the day, when you lay alone in your bed, you confront your own demons and you look at yourself and you understand that you're an individual that exits the shower to pee. And there are questions there for me. There are questions. Pee in the fucking shower. Pee in the shower.
Wow.
Well, now we're getting into a different spectrum.
I usually do that if either I'm drunk off my ass or I wake up like in the middle of the night.
I was gonna say, listen, bro, 3 a.m. lights
Yeah.
off.
You can't see.
Down.
Yeah.
And what's worse is who's pulled this? Like you sat down to pee and you fell back asleep, and then you wake up like 90 minutes later and your legs are completely dysfunctional.
That has never happened to me.
Oh,
I've never
I've
fallen asleep
gone
on the
so
toilet.
numb that I literally have to drop on the floor just to extend my legs for the blood.
What the fuck is going on at your house?
No, I just fall asleep. You're a big guy sitting on my legs on a toilet cutting circulation for like
What an
90
amazing
minutes.
visual.
Oh,
I was
Like
just
he
gonna
does
say.
a full like tactical combat roll off the can.
Well, the best thing is your wife.
You imagine Brandy? Yeah, Brandy
she
walking
wakes up,
in.
she sees you naked on the bathroom floor, like in a fetal position, looking down at you. I'm like,
And she's like, it's that time. Oh no, it's happening. It's happening.
That's amazing.
yeah. No one's ever fallen asleep to the point where they couldn't get up.
On the toilet?
On
Yes.
the can.
No, because I have this problem. So there's that
you tell?
3 a.m. There's that 3 a.m. I wake up, I'm in bed, and I have to make a decision. So I can try and lay there and go back to sleep. Or the other side is I can get up to piss, but I know if I get up to piss, now that's an extra hour I'm going to be up before I can go back to sleep. So there's that dilemma at 3 a.m. I don't go back to sleep.
3 a.m. PP jams. I know.
Yeah. Do I do it? Do I get up, or I just let it pulsate?
Let it pulsate. This show is going down a different path than I expected.
Oh, and Coop hasn't even got on yet.
I know.
No. But I did want to mention one thing that we didn't mention in the banter. How appropriate that this is episode 469 and Matt Booth is on today.
Hey.
We didn't plan that.
That was the most effort that Paul put in the outline this week.
Yes, that was the headlining. Okay.
Like really did
Number
nothing
was
else.
essential.
He couldn't even look up our guest's last name for next week. Our guest for next week's last name. That was the most effort. He recognized that it was episode 469.
As I was typing, I was like, "Oh, look at that."
Well, speaking of Coop, is he in the back?
He is ready to go.
I'm expecting and anticipating long would you rather explanations in this show, and probably some of Matt's involvement and tail the tape. So let's hop Coop on and see what's the scoop with Coop this week.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
Coop.
There he is.
Good morning, everybody.
Cooper.
Always
What are you
teaser and
doing?
free. Keep up with all
Matthew.
news and tips at cigar-coop.com. Coop, what is the scoop this week? Anything good?
Yeah, we got a few stories. Again, it's a little light as we come out of the trade show, but there are some stories that have come out. Now, here's a really interesting one. And Abe, I'm kind of curious on your take on this because we've talked about this company.
You won't agree with me, but go ahead.
I might in this case, but we'll see. All right, we'll see. So, were you aware, Abe, when you were at the Illusione booth, that there was a new brand that they were shipping like 3 weeks after the show?
You saying it doesn't bring any memories to me. And in fact, it's kind of I actually sat and talked to Dion for like 90 minutes, Dion and Fred. But what's the brand? Tell me the brand. I'll say, oh, yeah, I remember seeing that.
Well, you didn't see it. It was called Allegria.
No, I didn't see it.
So Allegria is a brand. Dion's talked about this brand before. He acquired Allegria at the same time he acquired the brand One Off. So there were two brands.
Allegria existed when One Off was around. So
yes, it was owned by the same guy, Andre Molinari.
Yes, I remember the brand now.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. So Dion, when he acquired One Off, he acquired Allegria. That really wasn't a secret. But I was still kind of flabbergasted to find out that they were shipping. Like there was no product on display about this. The word I've heard from people is they were taking orders for this brand, and now it's shipping to retailers. So he has relaunched the Allegria. It's described kind of as a bolder version of the One Off. So it's going to be all Nicaraguan. It's going to be made at the Aganorsa factory. Come in 5 sizes: Corona, Robusto, Lonsdale, Churchill, and Gordo. But like I said, I was pretty surprised. Like, you're at the trade show. It would have been a perfect opportunity to at least show a picture of this or something. But it came up. It didn't come up in our interview, and it didn't come up in any of the other media people's interviews. So I was a little like why is the question? You had a captive audience to talk about this.
Did this displease you, Cooper? That the information did not flow to you?
It disappointed because I think it would have been a great story to tell.
Disappointed.
Disappointed. It didn't displease me.
Coop's disappointed.
Yeah.
Allegria was like a spinoff or lower. Well, that's not what the old band. That's got to be his new stuff.
That's the new band, yeah.
With the peace sign.
Yeah.
So
it's actually a plane, if I understand correctly. It's not actually a peace sign.
Ah.
The wing of it, yes.
Yeah,
that's good. You have to tell people that every time because it's a peace sign.
100%.
Yeah.
So
it's a plane. Oh, tight.
So
peace plane.
What is your exact complaint? Maybe I missed it.
Well, it was. Why wouldn't you talk about it at the trade show, which was only a few weeks ago?
You know what's interesting, Cooper?
I understand, but maybe he didn't want to talk about it at the trade show. Maybe he's releasing it for a trademark purpose, and he's not really fully blowing it out. I mean, you've seen it before, where to keep a mark, they'll do a small run of something and sell it out there.
Hey, but let's be real. This was 3 weeks ago. You think that this stuff wasn't ready to go 3 weeks ago? I mean, we're not. I mean, if it was 2 months down the line, I get it. We're talking 3 weeks. This had to be ready and sitting in the warehouse at this point.
I don't know if being upset or complaining about it is the right emotion more than maybe just being confused by it.
That's why I didn't say I was displeased. I was like disappointed. That's a difference.
That's like when your dad says to you, "I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed."
Yeah, I think disappointed is even a little harsh. Disappointment. Somebody please don't tell Dion because we don't want him not sleeping tonight because Coop got disappointed. But I think confusing. It may be confusing, but I always operate like, man, there's always sometimes parts of a story that you don't know. So why? It's his company, his brand. Who cares?
In the end, it's his choice. Like I said, I'm just like, you had the audience there to really kind of tell the story of this, and it didn't get.
Maybe that's not where he wanted the story told.
Well, maybe the story's being told right now with you bitching about it.
Maybe he figured if I don't talk about it at the trade show, Coop will spend 30 days discussing.
You're talking about it right now.
It could have been the most brilliant marketing ever.
Yeah, this is the best promotion ever.
I mean,
right.
There you go.
I was wrong. Abe did disagree with me on this.
Of course. Of course.
Right.
What else you got going on, Coop?
From Gurkha, there was a this week this was shown at the trade show.
I'm glad you're going to talk about this. I hope you're talking about this because I'm going to say something that I don't know how people
okay
agree with.
I don't
me.
have an opinion on this one way or another. I'm just going to report it. Gurkha's come out with a sampler of their Revenant line. It's called the Gurkha Revenant Sampler. It's going to have 3 blends in it: the Revenant Corojo, the Revenant Maduro, and a previously unreleased Revenant Connecticut. The Connecticut, like I said, is unique to the sampler, and the other thing that's unique to the sampler is all the cigars are rounded, as opposed to the Revenant box presses, which are how they're normally sold as box press.
That was the news.
That was the news. That wasn't the
fucking riveting.
I'm getting a lot of flack from my old friend Jim Colucci on this. Gurkha had a new line released at the trade show this year.
Okay.
Does anybody know what it is?
The Pure Evil?
Backdoor Assailant?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm being childish. I don't know. I just got mixed feelings about bringing something and putting it on my shelf that's literally called Pure Evil. I
It's
mean,
a-
I
it
don't
is.
know. Do you really want something buying something called pure evil? Maybe it's me. I could just be too
Can I?
hard in my head. I don't know.
Can I? Need
Maybe
to
it has
address-
dark
Can I,
magic. Who
can I
knows?
address the aristocrats in our audience real quick?
Oh yeah. Is that including
Can
me?
you go back to the Allegria, please, and put it up for a second, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, guys, if you think there's one fucking consumer that's going to refer to that as the Allegria, you're out of your mind. And personally, I don't know. Allegria is Allegria in my
Listen,
book.
But
I
that's
pronounced
the
it,
way.
I pronounced it Allegria when it came out the first time.
Just throwing it out there for the
Matt, you
grammar.
tell me. Am I being a little wonky on the pure evil?
No, look, man. First of all, you got to put what you feel comfortable with in your store. That's your house, right? That's first and foremost. And I get it, man. I mean, look, if
in my head, they might as well made a brand called 666 and put it on the box and put it in my store. I don't know, man.
Don't you sell that liquid death water in the store?
No,
Oh,
but
you
I
don't?
drink it.
No.
Alex always drinks. I
Alex
just assumed
drinks
it was there.
Murder your thirst.
But even liquid death. I mean, that doesn't. But pure evil, man. I don't know. Maybe
I get it.
They've had a brand called Evil for many years. I mean, how did you feel about
Listen,
that one?
Listen, for me, I don't know if I ever carried evil. I don't think we have it, but
Okay.
for whatever reason, that's almost even less problematic for me than pure evil. It's like, let's just take something bad and take it to the most ultimate level of badness. I don't know. I literally saw the big, advertising on their walls. I went about, wow.
With the bullet hole in the skull's head.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I get their themes over the years or whatever, but I just get a weird feeling in my gut when I, just saying it and then selling pure evil to people. Yes, I sell pure evil. I mean, it's just I don't know. Maybe
Sounds like a good marketing scheme to me.
I mean, this is where you get into one of those gray line things, Abe, because you draw a line with this, and there's going to be something else that comes close to that line.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't think there's anything wrong with the industry for it. This is just totally my internal.
Right. I kind of get that part.
Yeah,
I do get that part.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it as far as industry wide or marketing wide. It's not marketing anything's bad for the industry. Just on a personal level, I just
what's interesting, Abe? I don't disagree. Actually, I don't disagree with what you're saying here, but it's funny is Gurkha's kind of been a whipping post for a lot of people in the cigar industry. I didn't hear anyone at the trade show whipping on them about this, which is kind of interesting.
Listen, Coop, I don't think it's really whippable.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah,
it falls in line with everything you're doing, assassin, this, style. Yeah, it falls in line. I'm just wondering if I'm the only retailer that looked at that and said. Even my operations guy agreed with me. He goes, I don't know if I want to sell it either. I don't know. Like I said, it's very I don't know, fairy tale-ish of me maybe or whatever.
Old school.
I don't even think it's old school. I mean, it's just more like it just doesn't sit well. It's like a bad taste in my mouth more than anything. So
well, damn.
I don't get it.
Oh, I know. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from Jim when I see him. He's going to call me a wussy. And I don't know if I can argue that point. I don't really have a defense for it. It's just the way I feel. Anyways, what else is the scoop with Coop this week?
One last thing is, and I know we're going to be talking more with this gentleman next week.
Wait. I'm sorry. Let me answer Coop. Our West Palm store for decades had head shops around it with thousands of people who wanted to buy water bongs, pipes, and stuff like that. I wouldn't sell that either. So, yeah, that's not the operating mechanism. When it comes to, I don't think it's a moral thing more than a personal thing. But when it comes to stuff like that, that's not what decides it. Sorry, Coop, continue.
Oh, no problem. So I know we're going to be talking more with this person next week behind the company, but El Septimo, which if you were at the trade show, they debuted a series of 3 lighters that retailed for $5.5 million each.
Okay, so they have a series of lighters that they claim are the retail value. To say they retailed means that somebody actually got it. Did anybody get them? As a media guy, did anybody actually, was there really any retailer order for this lighter?
I was told, I was told by one they bought it.
Okay, they was told. Did they tell you which shop?
I mean, the retailer told me.
You know a retailer that bought this lighter?
That's what I understand.
In the USA?
In the USA, yeah. I thought you got the lighter too. I mean, I thought you had actually got this as well.
Why would I? Where am I going to put it? On display in the store? Where am I going to put? I mean, I'm just basing the assumption. I don't know because I didn't even look into it. But the wholesale value, $2.5 million.
See, that's what I was wondering, if the wholesale value was 2.25. I gotta think it's less than that.
Cool. Who gives a shit? 1.5 million. Where the heck am I putting a 1.5 million lighter? I'm gonna put it on display in the front of my store. Unless you already have that shit pre-sold and it's coming in a Brinks truck, directly delivered to the consumer's house. What do you do with this?
Yeah, you don't want it in your store.
Fuck no, I don't. Half my staff would disappear tomorrow and split it.
They had at the trade show. They had a guy guarding it. I mean, literally, they had a guy guarding these lighters.
Seriously, I mean, this is ridiculous. Half my staff would literally steal it and just split it.
Well, why do you keep showing the humidor?
I have no idea.
Oh, it says that's a $5 million. That's what I see. $5.5 million tabletop lighter.
That's not what we're talking about. That's a humidor with cigars. But thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here's I have them.
Yeah, if you go to Cigar Coop, they're on there. But here's the good news. I was gonna say there's some good news though.
Unbelievable.
If you can't afford that, they are coming out with a series of lighters that will range from $245 to $1,500. Those are them.
These are the $5 million lighters.
Yeah, and they're torch. So I mean, what do you do when that lighter doesn't work?
Damn.
Well, here's my question: when someone brings that lighter back to your store, Abe, and I'm not, or whoever's store, who's gonna fix that lighter?
Let me just tell you something. Even if I bought that lighter would never see my store. I would arrange literally for a Brinks delivery for that lighter to the consumer's house. And I don't know. That has to be the only way that lighter is getting sold is someone pre-buys it.
What is it's obviously it obviously has diamonds and possibly rubies and emerald. I mean, I guess that's the value in it. And it's gold.
I don't know. I saw diamonds.
There's a different one. Hold on. There's a couple of them. So there's a blue version with what I assume are emeralds for that price, which as Matt Booth knows,
we're waiting. Paul.
These days
there are diamonds in it.
As Matt Booth knows, these days there's no good emeralds in the world.
Who made this? Was this made in China?
We don't.
Oh, do they market? Did they tell you who made this? I mean,
They did not tell us who made it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually didn't get the CDs, and my guys went to the booth. I wasn't particular at that point when they went to the booth without me. Actually, we had a slight issue we had to deal with behind the scenes at the time. So
Dan Thompson was a great question.
So, but
a mix of diamonds, rubies, emeralds, sapphires. It doesn't say anything about 24 karat covered with 24 karat gold. Yeah, I mean, it's an enamel process too. It looks like, but still, I mean, enamel bracelets like that from Schlumberger are still, $40,000, $50,000, sometimes $100,000.
Listen,
so
we're in South Florida, and we're exposed to people who are very, very well off. Palm Beach Island. There isn't a human being I can conceive of even entertaining the thought. I mean, maybe I'm not a good salesman. I don't know. No. Then I would say, hey, did you hear there's a $5 million lighter?
I mean, there are some brands that have sold for less money than those lighters.
Some companies, you mean?
Some companies have.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I found amazing.
That's what Dan Thompson said. How do you position a $5 million lighter with the purchase of your custom Boeing 787 Dreamliner? Lighter comes with a $5.4 million gift card to smoke in. Yeah.
Right. Like I said, I want to know who has to service that lighter when it happens. Are you going to send the Brinks truck to pick it up?
I mean, they're pretty, but
yeah.
All right. Is there any other news you got going on this week?
That's it for this week.
That's all with the scoop with Koopas. Please check our dear friend's site out at cigar-coop.com. Always rumor and teaser free. Thank you, William Cooper.
Thank you, sir.
So before we get into our other segments, Matt, I just wanted to ask you. I had a question that I didn't get a chance. I forgot earlier.
Yes.
Obviously, with your gin.
Yep.
You obviously see and are going to take advantage of the synergies that exist between the gin and the cigar industry, which exist right?
My man, of course, yeah. That is the plan.
Was there any or is there any, do you feel there ever can be any? Can you take advantage of that with the jewelry and the cigars? Do you find it as effective?
I do.
You do?
And honestly, if you want to go back to patient zero here, you were the initial inspiration you gave. Anytime you've ever given me marching orders, I immediately deploy forces, right? So I was visiting you at your shop and you told me you should create a display case program for retail. I walked outside and I made a couple phone calls and I found someone to make me display cases, like literally on the patio of your store, right? So, but again, very hard to support, very hard to execute, very hard to support without a sales staff to care for the displays, right? And that was the shortfall on that endeavor. Honestly, man, it's like, if you want to, and I don't want to dig too deep into the guts of their business, but like,
what's funny with Paul is we talk about lighters, he shows us humidor. He was talking about jewelry, he shows gin. Right?
Well, I know we were talking about the gin, and it takes a while to upload it.
Fucking hour ago.
Seriously, man.
Continue.
Jesus Christ.
God.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Hold on. Put up a picture of an elephant. That'll happen on the next show. Yeah.
Real quick.
So,
Peter, call me on Monday. You need to come pick this shit up this load you won from Saka.
Seriously. I got
get this shit.
Just so you know, I got your statue sitting in my office. I'd like to get it out of here, please.
Come get this shit. Peter's the best. He won our mega raffle with Saka, and he's just the best. He's reached the age of where you can say whatever the fuck you want, and he doesn't give a shit.
Nice, good for Peter.
And he's become that guy.
Yep, he won the Mega Stars for Summer with Saka 2, and next week we'll be announcing the final part of the trilogy, Summer with Saka 3. I'll be posting up a video, so if you're enjoyed 1 and 2, stay tuned for the final chapter. We'll announce it next week. So I'm sorry, Matt, we interrupted you with Elephant and St. Gin.
It's okay. The elephant in the room is the gin,
right? So,
as it were.
But do you feel that the jewelry was as effective? Because I know the liquor and the cigars got to be really easy. Because I noticed a lot of art pieces wear your jewelry. I see your jewelry in a lot of places.
I think there's going to be a V.2 in terms of programming that back into market in the tobacconist category, right? Because it definitely, it's a brand that has an equity, a cachet of equity in this space that no other jewelry brand has. So, there's no reason we shouldn't dominate as the accessory brand to this business. And I don't mean like, there are accessory brands like Zycar, they're smokers accessories. I'm talking about wearable accessories.
Sure. So one question, we had your beautiful display cases and whatnot. Was that the only model that you made, or did you make a small tabletop model?
We made a model that actually separated from that pedestal that could go countertop. Nice. I'm working on designs right now for a V.2 of that program.
Right. I think it's important to have something where people don't have floor space.
100%.
Counter. And then I'll give you another little tip, because the little Hollywood universe that you're accustomed to, right? If you're going to put stuff in cigar retail shops, make them big boy sizes, right?
Yeah. No, I know.
Kids Gap doesn't fare well size-wise.
I get it. 5X, baby. I know.
Yeah, I'm just
saying. We do shadow drops. Running out of cotton over here. The amount of
Look at that.
the amount of 5Xs we sell.
I have that. I have that bracelet actually. The exact same one.
Yeah.
Is that my man from Cypress Hill?
That's my man, Send Dog, Send Reyes from Cypress Hill. That is correct. Longtime supporter of our brand.
Nice.
Long time. Yeah.
All right. We have coming up next one of my favorite segments. And this is a very special one this season because this one involves all four of us.
Oh.
And awesomely, Paul is here to defend his choices this week. We got robbed of that last week. So it's time for Tale of the Tape Season 5, week number 2. Now you weren't here last week, Paul, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure you didn't watch the show.
I know exactly what you're going to say. I did watch. I always watch the show.
Oh, so you heard my comment about Alex always when he does
that picture of him looks like a friggin' headshot from a movie, and the rest of us are all like,
yeah, he picks out the most dweebish photos of all
photos.
I saw the picture of him. I was like, wait, why is Brad Pitt on Alex's photo? I don't understand.
Damn.
All right, let's just do a quick recap of our pick last week. These are the top 10
Don't
movie villains.
put the image up, Paul.
I'm not going to put the image up.
I'm just going to recap it of last week. These are all our top 10 picks of greatest movie villains of all time. Mine was my number 10 pick was Darth Vader.
Which was controversial.
Not as controversial as I thought it was. I didn't really catch a lot of slack. I thought it was going to be more controversial, but it really wasn't. Alex?
So my number 10 pick was Annie Wilkes of Misery, the most psycho bitch of psycho bitches.
Great pick.
Glenn Close was close on that as far as
I don't know. She's no Annie Wilkes.
She did bake a bunny in the kitchen.
That's
William?
I had Ivan Drago, probably one of the great villains from the Rocky series.
And Paul's?
I had Hades from Walt Disney's Hercules.
Hercules, obviously. So that was our top 10 this week. So who's going to go first with their 9th pick?
So listen, we're sticking with the New Jacks. Let the New Jacks go first. You guys are your first time into the Tale of the Tape world. We're glad to have you.
I'll go first. I'll go first.
Right.
So
I don't know Abe's pick, but I see all the picks.
You got the picks, Paul, or you want me to do it?
No, I see them here. So, but I think I know which one is Abe's.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
So, anybody who didn't watch last week, I had some stipulations as far as what would qualify to be the best villain. There's other components. I didn't do any cartoons. I didn't do any CGI, which otherwise Thanos would have made it from the Avengers, but Thanos didn't qualify because that was actually all CGI. Although he did come in and read his roles so they could do his facial expressions. That's why Thanos looks so much like the actor. But that's why kind of Darth Vader made it number 10, and this is kind of why this is at number 9. It's kind of almost on that surreal stuff. But Agent Smith,
I knew it.
Yes, this was an amazing role played. Where really to be so emotionless and the movement of somebody who's supposed to not have emotions but then have emotions is really complex. But one of my favorite scenes, and then there's always lines that I'll always remember, like in True Romance when Christian Slater kills the Rastafarian white drug dealing Gary Oldman, which is one of my favorite characters of all time, drug dealing pimp Gary Oldman, and Patricia Arquette is like crying, and you think she's crying because he killed him, and then her next line is, "That's so romantic," right? Agent Smith's description to Morpheus when he's talking about the stench of human beings and what he hates most about human beings is probably one of the coolest scenes for me, as I remember. So Agent Smith of The Matrix comes in at number 9 for myself.
Paul?
Number 9 for me is Judge Claude Frollo of one of the most underestimated Disney animated films of all time, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. But aside from the score being probably in the top 2 of all the Disney animated films out there, he's probably one of the most like dark bad guys, villains in Disney's movies, because it's very like religious and genocide-ish, and like he's just pure evil. There you go. He would probably be smoking a pure evil cigar.
There you go.
Is Paul doing the top 10 Disney villains?
Well, you're gonna have to stick around to find out.
We'll have to stick around to
I
find
really
out.
wouldn't have a problem, but he's picking these so obscure.
What is obscure about the Hunchback of Notre? Listen, I stand by that statement. It's probably the best.
Don't you pronounce it Alan Menken.
There's five of us here, right? All of us have children. Okay, how many people have seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
I haven't seen that one. I have seen Hercules. Nope. I haven't seen The Hunchback.
There you have it.
It's from the end of the Disney Renaissance. But listen, Alan Menken did the music. The music is in top 3 of all Disney films of all time. Seriously, it's an underestimated movie. People unappreciated for what it is. It's an amazing movie.
The seriousness of your tone right now is actually depressing.
Right.
Oh man, I'll belt those songs out anytime you do karaoke.
Sure you will.
And smoke in.
Sad boner.
All right, so coming in at number 9 for me is Michael Myers. I'm going to qualify this a little bit. This is actually like a trinity of picks for me. Realistically, Michael Myers, Freddy, and Jason are all kind of the same person. They all exist in the same realm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little mainstream, but I feel like they deserve to be on the list. And Michael Myers being the first one, he got the nod over the other 2 to actually get the headlining. But it's actually a pick of 3 in 1. I didn't want to clutter my list.
It's really funny because no horror movie genre qualified for my list because most of the time,
yeah, right.
That's
why I just put all 3.
So if I had to really put one out there, the only one that really scared me growing up, which really kind of kept me up at nights, was Freddy Krueger.
Well, sure, because you had to go to sleep, right?
Right.
But Michael Myers got the nod because he was the first.
And there was more of a personality and interaction. If I was going to pick any genre, I mean, anybody from that genre, I think I'd have to pick with Freddy Krueger.
It's fair.
Matt, would you like to throw one of your?
Right, let's get Coops in. Coops in.
Oh shit, Coop! I'm sorry. I thought Coop.
I'm sorry,
Coop.
We forgot you were there.
Coop's got an excellent pick.
All right. My pick for number 9 is Max Cady from Cape Fear, and I'm going with the Robert De Niro version of it, 1991.
There we go.
That laugh.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
That was actually in my considerations. It was on my sheet of people to consider.
Listen, let me tell you, I'm gonna make an admission. He's not on my list. I
think I had him too low after even doing this.
I regret it. I missed him, and I regret it. I'm telling you now. I mean, that's an excellent pick.
Yeah, it is a good pick.
I didn't miss him. He was actually on my consideration.
I completely missed him.
He's just a great villain. It's just a great villain.
Villain.
Yeah, and I like those psychological type of villains like this. Right. So yeah, that's what I wonder if Paul and I are gonna have any commonality of our list. I'm gonna be completely shocked if we have one in common.
I'll go on a limb here and say Paul will have no commonality with anyone.
I feel like Alex and I may have one.
Which one is Cruella de Vil for you, Paul? What position?
You gotta wait.
You gotta wait.
Oh, we gotta wait. We got no spoilers. No spoilers.
We do one every week. So let's put up the list. Here's everybody's current pick status.
Am I doing it, Alex? Oh,
am I doing one? Can I?
Yes, please.
Sure. Throw one in the mix.
Oh, am I supposed to do it?
Please do.
Oh my God. I'm just marveling at this visual right
The only thing this visual is missing is we don't know whose list is what. We should either have names at the top or the bottom.
Well, they're in order.
They're in order.
Okay, I get it.
They're in image order.
Yeah.
So what do you got, Matt?
I don't know the cat's name, but the dude in Sleeping with the Enemy that puts on the crazy classical music before he plows out his lady, that shit is creepy to me, and therefore he is my movie villain pick. It's a very maniacal buggering that he does.
Aaron Elman, one of my stipulations was it had to be a narrative movie, so it couldn't be any movie about somebody real. It had to be a villain that was created.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't think – well, I mean, I'm sure that shit's going on all over the world right now as we speak, but in that specific movie, in that piece of American cinema, I believe he was a fabricated villain.
Well, there you have it. So that is it for week number 2. Check us out next week as we see who our 8th pick is for the best movie villains of all time. And in our final segment every week, in a very special Matt Booth edition. So, if you're at work or anywhere public, Dave, if you're still at Walmart, I suggest maybe turning the volume down a little bit.
Martin Burney was the name.
The guy
That's
with the
his name?
mustache, right?
His mustache. Yeah.
Mustache.
Yeah.
So, yes, if you're anywhere public, you want to turn your volume down a little bit. If your kids are in the room, you might go send them to go make a sandwich. Because
What's
for
going to happen?
the Would You Rather, sponsored by Gurkha Cigars, Matt Booth edition.
Would you rather?
What the fuck?
I'm waiting for this one.
Man. Oh my goodness.
So,
Wow.
so you could tell who doesn't watch the show when they laugh at these intros. And we can tell who doesn't really follow KMA Talk Radio.
In his defense,
Oh, I
it's
meant-
early.
How not surprising to see that introduction.
It's one of my favorites.
It is a good one.
So this segment is obviously brought to you by Gurkha Cigars. Very simple, Matt. I'm going to ask you a would you rather question, and
Cool.
you'll not only have to answer it, but explain to us why.
I'm ready.
Are you ready for question number one?
I'm ready.
Question number one. Would you rather get slapped in the face every time you had a sexual thought, or get whacked in the genitals every time immediately after having sex?
And I can't like freestyle other options. Are there actually rules here? Can I
You
just
gotta
say
pick one, but then you can freestyle it afterwards. But you gotta.
I'm gonna go slapped in the genitals, simply because I think people pay more for that, pound for pound, you know. And I want value in my life. You understand what I'm saying? So, even I think recounting the tales of genital bludgeoning to other fans of that kind of activity, I think could win me some currency. You know, maybe cigar events, truck stop bathrooms, wherever I need to make conversation. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
So
thank you, very
Matt.
much.
Matt, we really had a very reserved show with Matt because we had serious talk, company acquisition, new
Yeah,
podcast,
man.
everything. So
Yeah.
we really let you hone all that energy for this final segment here, where you really
Okay.
let loose. Ready?
So dick out. Let's go.
Question number two. Speaking of dicks, would you rather have a fully functional micro penis or a rectily dysfunctional huge penis?
Well, look, man, I'm gonna go with the huge hog, the Heffenweiser, number one, because I have this vision that came into my mind as soon as you said that, and I was thinking about this little, baby needle dick, just rock hard. But
But
then
it
I thought
works.
about,
But it works.
right. No, I get it. But imagine like you walking through a crosswalk somewhere and somebody honks at you, or it's the typical like, oh hey kind of thing that happens in a traffic type situation, and you just face that car and you just throw that hog onto the hood of the car. You understand what I'm saying? Like you just drop it on that hood, like create physical damage to that vehicle. That's what I'm talking about. Like damage things with weight.
And there you
Dick
have
weight.
it. All right.
Dick
Final
weight.
question there. Would you rather segment brought to you by Gurkha Cigars? I don't want you just to fire it off an answer because this might be a very tough call for you. All right. So if you need a minute,
Okay.
stay with us. We're ready.
It's
Who
provocative.
would you rather have sex with?
Rick James.
Not-
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you got to give me the action. I'm sorry.
Not an option.
Give it to me, baby.
Though when I tell you the option, that option might look better for you, might be acceptable for you. Queen Elizabeth or Hillary Clinton?
I would raw dog Hillary Clinton in every orifice that she did not want it in.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm not even into politics, okay? And this isn't, I want to make it very clear. I don't believe in the system, okay? So I'm not doing this isn't a political bug ring. But I think that bitch is stone cold. I think she's stone cold and she needs a savage penetrating.
So the
Set her
royalty,
straight.
the royalty factor doesn't entice you at all. The Queen.
No. No. I think I would have like a fanciful like brunch with her and borrow one of her hats.
A little tea time.
I'd like to wear one of her hats.
A little
Yeah,
tea
some
time with the
tea.
Queen?
Yeah, man, I do it
So,
like that.
I just want to know, when you picture this, are you in hats, but both of you are fully naked having a tea party?
I'd say that. Well, and also shoes. Like I want shoes with buckles on them.
There you go.
And the white gloves.
I think some sort of sequin embellishment somewhere. It doesn't have to be overdone. Don't play it out. You have to fucking rhinestone cowboy that shit. I mean, it's tea. It'd be
That's a good point, though. Quentin Thor Nation makes a good point. I mean, can you beat Teabagging the Queen?
Bro, this dude is fucking on it, and he gets
He
it.
is
That's
on
all I'm
it.
gonna say. He gets it. He gets it. That guy gets it.
And there you have it. Our Would You Rather segment brought to you by the fine folks over at Gurkha Cigars, the Matt Booth edition. We'll have to censor that for social media a little bit.
Yeah, send me the clip.
You made a
Savage
clip.
raw dogging and all.
As always, Matt, thank you for taking time out to join us. We hope we've entertained everybody, maybe taught you a few things, made you laugh. We wish you, all of us wish you the best of your, the best and all the best of your new endeavor. Very excited to see some of the things that come up. William, as always, thank you for your contribution this week.
Thank you.
Keeping us up to date on the pulse of what's going on in the industry. We hope everybody has a great weekend. Check us out on our Facebook pages, Smoking Social Private Face Group. Awesome place to be. Check it out. And next week, speaking of $5 million lighters, we'll be able to ask the questions directly and in depth. We have Zaya Yunan of El Septimo Cigars. Until then, everybody, keep it lit.